good, fam? It's Mr. Kelly with Good of the Hood, talking about anything and everything that impacts the culture. And today I want to talk about, I want to touch on a subject that I talked about a while ago, quite some time ago with Dr. Ryan Ross, which we had a video. So if you haven't seen that, I think it's video 68. Yeah, 68. Check it out. It's real similar. So on that particular video, it was about, do black celebrities owe the community anything, basically, in regards to finances, role model, that kind of thing. So whether it's athletes, rappers, so on and so forth. And I was actually talking about this today with somebody, and then I saw this article on LinkedIn about Amazon, about Jeff Bezos, which kind of ties into it, right? Kind of, but I thought it was interesting. So I don't want to misrepresent anything, and if I can, I'll get it from there to put up here on the screen. But I just kind of wanted to read something because it's pretty interesting, okay? So Jeff Bezos, for those of you that don't know, or Bezos, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing his name, but anyway, he's the rich guy, right? He is the creator, founder of Amazon, which everybody know who Amazon is. Amazon blew up, of course, during this pandemic because everything's brought to your door. When I say everything can be brought to your door, I mean everything can be brought to your door. So this is a little article on Jeff Bezos, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents, right? Jeff Bezos in 2020, his net worth rose 67% to $192 billion. $192 billion, right? His charitable donations were only 0.5% of his net worth. Amazon's higher worker pay and bonuses equaled 1.3% of his net worth. So higher worker pay, that's like the executive level people. That's like the vice president, president, SVP, whatever, COO, all that, right? So the guy that's writing this, he's a CEO of another company himself that's not as obviously as successful, we'll say financially successful as Bezos, because Bezos is the most successful on the planet, right? But this is what this CEO guy says. He says, I can't imagine how someone could hoard that much wealth. Amazon could have quadrupled its worker pay and bonus increases and still been more profitable than last year. Right? So these are big numbers here, right? Bezos could have given every one of Amazon's 1.2 million employees a bonus of 60 grand and still be richer than he was at the time of before the pandemic. That's crazy. So Amazon employs 1.2 million people. Every one of those employees could have gotten a bonus of 60 racks, of $60,000. And Bezos would have still been richer than he was before the pandemic 9-10 months ago. That's crazy, right? Okay, and it goes into some other stuff, which I'm going to post up here, and I'll put a link to this, but my whole point is this. People always act shocked. So when I had talked to Dr. Ross, he was like, okay, in the black community, we shouldn't feel obligated to give that money back to the communities. It's very nice and it's a good gesture, and we acknowledge that, but it's not one where people should be required. And I get that. I mean, I can understand that whole ordeal. People have this misconception, I think, that money changes you and money changes the way people think about you. I do think it does on the latter part. Money does change the way people think about you. But money as a whole doesn't really change you, I don't think. I think money exaggerates who you already are. So if you're naturally a generous, giving person, money is just going to exaggerate that characteristic of you. But if you're a stash, greedy, hoarding, self-centered person, money's not going to change that. It's just going to exaggerate it, and it's going to be more obvious. So this dude with Amazon, he's worth $192 billion, right? $192 billion. And his charitable contribution is less than 0.5%, right? So he probably wasn't a generous. I can't imagine he'd be a generous person before then. You see what I'm saying? He has all that money, and this guy in this article says he can't imagine how somebody could be so greedy. I can. People are people, dude. Because look, if we bring it back to the culture, right? So we have people that are celebrities in the culture that like Puffy, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, right? These guys are juggernauts, right? These guys are the head honchos of the hip hop community. And then you have, then you have actors. You may have a Denzel. You have, we had Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Who's another? Oprah Winfrey is paid. I think Idris Elba's paid, but not ridiculous. Will Smith, he's another one that's paid. Tyler Perry, he's paid. So a lot of these people are paid in the industry, and of course you have your athletes, but they don't necessarily follow suit with being charitable. And that's just American culture. That's just a societal thing. That's just Americans as a whole. We're not taught, nor is our society predicated on thinking of the collective. It's just not who we are. But it is crazy when you do the math. You have somebody like look, this is what, look, you know what? I told this to people before 2016, before the election, when everybody was pushing for Trump, and all that. And you can't say, well, not everybody was pushing for him. You could say he got elected, but I'm not going to go into all the other conspiracy theories, but he got elected. Thing is this, he's been a billionaire for a long time. And prior to that, you have to look at what was his charitable contributions, right? Was he about the SPCA? Was he about breast cancer? Was he about any type of charities? To a big significant amount. A lot of you out there give money to charities, right? And proportionate to what you make, it's probably a higher percentage than you think. The reason why celebrities and people that are well-to-do are brought on the spotlight is, one, because they're in the spotlight, right? They're in the limelight. Everybody knows who they are. But it's just like certain problems could really be eradicated or almost fixed, or a big dent, if some of these people were more giving. And they have so much money, it's not even a situation of, okay, well, look, you have billions and billions of dollars, give so much to any one of these charitable organizations. When you're at that level, when you're worth, $1 billion plus, 10 billion, 20 billion, 50 billion, anything like that, even when you're in the upper 9 figures and millions, if you're worth 100 million plus, right? You're in a position to where if you want to make sure that the money goes to where it needs to go, then you can make that happen. You have assistants and employees of your brand already. So you hire somebody to make sure that maybe the streets in your old neighborhood are all fixed. There's an idea. Maybe the school that you went to, the elementary school, middle school, high school, whatever, make sure all those kids that were from your old alma mater, elementary school, right? Make sure they got computers. Make sure the cafeteria has good food, and make sure those kids maybe have shoes or have jackets and that kind of thing. You can do stuff if you're paid like that doesn't have to be giving so much money to a specific charity, and then your fear is so much of that money gets funneled out or doesn't really get to the people that need it. You know what I'm saying? So again, going back to Bezos here, with that kind of money, that's crazy. That's crazy. Think about it. If he would have given all of his employees 60 grand, he has 1.2 million employees, right? So that comes to, what would that have come to? That's what, 60 million. Wait, 60 million? 60 million. Look now, so I don't look like I'm 60 million dollars bonuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a drop in the bucket. 600 million is a drop in the bucket. Even if it was 6 billion, it's a drop in the bucket when you're worth 192. Now, no, he's not obligated. It just speaks on character. It just speaks on who you are as a person. It speaks on society and that kind of thing. Here's the other piece of it, though, is when you're in a position like that, and there's, say, the masses around you are broke, hungry, starving, whatever the case may be, that's how revolution starts. And we've seen that in history. Like governments that have that kind of tyranny over their people, eventually the people are going to revolt. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be able to hire enough bodyguards to prevent chaos, or to protect you, or protect your assets, or protect your loved ones, or whatever. Because when people are broke and don't have nothing, when they realize that they've been getting exploited, you feel like you have nothing to lose. And there's nothing more dangerous than a man or woman. There's nothing more dangerous than a person that feels they have nothing to lose. Because if you feel like you're dying and you're hungry anyway, go for broke. I mean, what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? Either die on the street or die on the hill. It don't matter. So I just feel like I wanted to speak on that again. Again, there's a little bit different perspective as it pertains to the culture, which I have in that other video with Dr. Ross. But yeah, man, that's just my 2 cents. I just read that article and I just thought that was crazy. 192 billion. And look, that number ain't going down because the pandemic ain't over. You know what I mean? So that number's not going down. That dude, by the end of 2021, because we're just not at the beginning of the year, that 192 billion, man, that's going to 210, 215 billion, easy. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. What are your comments on it? Let me know. We can debate this more. So we debate some of these things sometimes on Facebook, but let's debate them here on YouTube. And look, until next time, this is Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood. Peace.